Alrighty. What's up, everybody? It is I, your tribal god of extreme, Peter Joseph here, for a Friday afternoon video, and it's Friday, gotta get down on Friday, that's fucking song, something for the fucking weekend. And if I diss all you Rebecca Black fans, fuck you, man. That should be redone in metal, that'd be great. Friday! Okay, I'm not gonna do it. But in any case, it is Friday afternoon, April the 4th, 2025. First unofficial weekend of April. And we're getting closer and closer to Easter. Pretty much 16 days away from Easter, so about 2 weeks away from this Sunday. So that's pretty damn nice. Next Sunday will be the Trolls' favorite holiday, Palm Sunday, because that's all they have. But it is what it is, and then the week after that is Easter. We got Passover coming up, and all that other shit. So, good time to be alive. It is hot as, well, not hot, but it's hot, warm as fuck here in the Northeast. 68 degrees as of right now. So that's pretty damn good. So, wherever you are, hopefully it's hot. If it's cold, well, hopefully you can warm up later. But in any case, it is Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling Channel. YouTube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down there, dude, in my pants. Otherwise known as the description box below on this channel and all my other channels down there. You know where they are. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap that bell. Turn on all notifications so you don't miss anything. Because if you do, you need to get slapped violently in the face. Because you watching right now, you're SOL. And if you don't know what that means, you need to get slapped again. But if you do know what it means, ha! And that's pretty much it. So, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you wish, but don't leave stupid comments. You're gonna get blocked, sent to the Shadow Realm where Satan will eat your soul! And, that's pretty much it. You like it? Great. You don't? Get out of here! And that's that. And for our first-time viewers, if you're here for the very first time, you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my other channels. Show them your love and support as well. And as we say in the business, welcome to the party, pal! We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, you relax, you grab yourself a cold one like this one. That's apple juice. Not piss, it's apple juice. But sit back, relax, you grab yourself your own cold one and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You don't, go fuck yourself. That's that. Alright, moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, like I said, it is Friday. I hope you're doing your taxes because we're 11 days away from tax day. And, that's pretty much it. My taxes have been done for a while. I did get a call from the accountant today. Got a little nervous, but everything's taken care of. Just had to ask me a question about my taxes and everything. But everything's settled right now. I'm just waiting for that, hopefully, huge tax refund. Probably won't be getting it till sometime by the end of next month, which is May, so. Well, hopefully early. I'm hoping to get it earlier than the end of May, but I don't even know how much I'm getting yet. I tried to ask the accountant. He's like, I don't know yet. I gotta finish up. I thought it was, it was done. I just gotta, she had to do some calculations and shit. It was a little bit of an error. That got fixed. And now, hopefully, by the end of this month, I'll find out how much I'm getting, whether it be little to huge. Oh, and hopefully it's huge. I need a huge one. I need, a lot. I would love to get, $1,000 in my tax refund, but doubt it. I mean, last year I got about it was about $500 at one point. I think it was $492, somewhere around $500, which wasn't bad. So I used that to go on vacation, so. Which wasn't great, but whatever. But hopefully I get a huge tax refund so I can put away for bills and my vacation in the summertime again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But mostly some of that's going to go to my bills, and I'm pretty good through July. Hopefully I'll be good through the rest of the year, and then we'll get to that point later. All right. But hopefully you have done your taxes, or Mr. Erwin R. Shyster might come to your house and say, you need to pay your taxes, or else you're going to go to jail. Or you're going to get audited maybe. Who knows what happens. But I already did mine back in February. But like I said, I got the call from my accountant today. Just had to do a little calculations, and there was a little error we had to fix, and everything's done. Now I wait for hopefully a huge tax refund. Alright, let me move on with that. But do your taxes, do it now, before it's too late. And you get zero. That's it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, on this Friday afternoon, we got SmackDown coming up later tonight from Chicago, Illinois. We got the hometown boy, CM Punk, is going to be on the show. Roman Reigns, our tribal chief. Put up your fucking ones in the comment section for your tribal chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns. He's advertised. Hopefully he'll be there in Chicago. Maybe Seth freaking Rollins will be there. And a whole lot more. But got some decent matches tonight. Rey Fenix debut tonight. That's going to be exciting to see. They're talking about a WrestleMania match with Andrade. Oh, that will be great. I can't wait for that one. We got another match. I think it's their fourth match. We got Braun Strowman and taking on Jacob Fatu, y'all mean? I love you, Jacob! So we got another beefy man, big beefy men slapping the fuck out of each other match between Braun Strowman and Jacob. See how that goes. See what's going on with Randy Orton and his monotonous voice, as Kevin Owens has a injury. We don't know what the injury is, but their match at WrestleMania could be pulled because of Kevin Owens' injuries. I think he has some lingering injuries from that hellacious match with Sami Zayn at the Elimination Chamber. So who knows what's going to happen there. If they pull it, they're thinking of doing Randy Orton and Solo Mibuki, which makes no sense in a way, but I mean, if it does get pulled, then you got basically 2 weeks of build for Randy and Solo. I mean, but then it continues. I mean, you can still do Randy and Kevin Owens when maybe a Backlash, or maybe in June, I think at Money in the Bank, or whatever is in June. I think it's Money in the Bank. I mean, we'll see what happens with that, but sucks to have injuries before WrestleMania, and to a guy like Kevin Steen, that hurts for him. He's missed a couple of WrestleManias because of injury, so not great. But we have that. We have B-Fab. Who's B-Fab taking on? I think it's Shoot. I think it's Shoot. Yeah. I know B-Fab's in action, but I forget who he's facing. I think it's no, she fought Charlotte and lost. I think she's facing I forget. I forgot the card, but I know B-Fab's on in action, so we got that. But it's in Chicago tonight, so Punk will definitely be there, because he's the hometown boy. And Roman will be there, so it should be a good night tonight at 8 o'clock on the USA Network. So we're back in the States, done with this garbage European tour. I know that they're thinking of doing another one, I think in the summertime, or around, I think Labor Day weekend they're doing it. So, more spoilers and more people doing watch-alongs at 3 or 4 o'clock. It is what it is. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I talked for way too long about that. But anyway, it is time on this April the 4th, 2025, on your Friday afternoon. Enjoy your Friday if you're going out. It's supposed to rain this weekend, so Saturday and Sunday might be a washout. Mets home opener coming up in about an hour and a half against the Blue Jays. Tyler McGill on the mound, so we'll see what happens with that. I believe the Skankies are on the road. I think they're playing KC. I don't even know who they're playing. Who cares? Yeah, they won last night. Big fucking whoop. Big fucking whoop. I know JD is crying in his basement right now because his Braves are 0-7. Good Lord. So JD, fuck you, man. And yeah, I still have the broken tooth, but it is what it is. So I'm getting it fixed probably after Easter, hopefully, but we'll see. Like I said, the insurance with my dental insurance, I don't know if it'll cover everything. Roto-rooter, my mouth, who knows. But we'll see what happens with that later. Alright, let's get to your late and out-of-date AEW review for this past Wednesday, April the 2nd, 2025, the go-home show before Sunday night's mega event, Dynasty, or for you Australian people, Dynasty. And we got that. They still got like 6,000 tickets to sell at the building, but I think they have to sell. I think they need 700 to outdo last year's Dynasty, which was in St. Louis, and they're in Philly. I'm surprised they can't even sell that building out in Philly, the Licorice Center, or whatever it is. I call it the Licorice Center, but it's called, I think, the Licorice Center or something like that. Blah, 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 blah. So we'll see what happens with that. We got Collision tomorrow with some of the Owen Hart tournament matches, which I'll get to in a little bit. But first, ladies and gentlemen, we are emanating from the Peoria Civic Center in Peoria, Illinois. And as always, our commentary team of the man behind the mask, Excalibur, the biggest Met fan I know. He's from Red Hook, brother. That's Taz. Brother. Red Hook, brother. So Taz, and my good buddy, who should be in the Hall of Fame, Tony Baloney Schiavone. Or for you people that love Jericho, Tony Schiavone. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Britt Baker's favorite person in the whole wide world, I wonder why. She looks like old school dick, if you know what I mean. But, I digress on that. Alright, so, Dynamite was a decent show. It starts off with an intergender tag team match. We got the AEW champion, John Moxley! Where's your belt, dude? Well, we don't know what a belt is because he's not wearing it. He's teaming up with Marina Shafir, who usually brings out the briefcase, and there's no briefcase, so where's the belt? Did you leave it at home? I don't know. But anyway, they're taking on the resident fun girl, Willow Nightingale. Bam! Alright, so Willow teams up with Swerve. Comes out with my good buddy, Prince Nana. My good buddy Prince Nana, please buy his coffee. It is great. It tastes great. Rosa loves it. You should love it too. So, go on Google, type in Prince Nana coffee, go to the website, buy it, and tell Prince Nana, when you do buy it, tell him, I told you to buy it. He gives me a discount. So, but I digress on that. I gotta buy more, actually. Buy it this weekend. Because Rosa needs some coffee. Not the only thing she needs. But I digress on that. Alright. So this match was wild. It starts off on the floor. Marina Shafir hits a snap suplex. Ow. And then Moxley and Marina pull out a table. Why not? This is before the bell, mind you. So they take out a table, which was used later on. Then the women get a cat fight! Get a cat fight at ringside. And then finally we go inside for the opening bell. Ring the bell, as Dario Cueto would say. So Swerve sends Mox into the ring steps. Ow! And then they kind of trade places. We get a drop kick from Swerve, rocks the champ, and then Willow comes in with a middle rope version of a drop kick to put him down again. Surprisingly, like the women fighting the men, you don't see that much, especially in WWE, and a little bit in TNA too. But you want some intergender wrestling? Go to the Indies. Well, not so much here in New York. You know why? Fucking commission. But I digress on that. All right, so we go forward. They're beating up Mox for a little bit, and then Willow starts doing the dancey, bam. That earns a big old beatdown from Moxley and Marina Shafir, who chokes Willow on the ropes. And then we get back in. Swerve grabs the JML driver on Marina Shafir, and he's like, "I'll hit it, dude! I'll hit it!" And then Mox's like, "Okay," takes Willow, and it's like, "Alright, I'm gonna hit the death run on your chick." Did like a stare down, like who's gonna do their finisher first? And then both of them let them go. And both of them are like, "Fuck you, man! Bitch! You know, you're not out, man! Get out of here!" So they shove them into each other, and then, once again, the women slug it out on the apron, and then Marina hits a power bomb off the apron through that table. Ow! By God almighty! So we get that. We go to break, finally. We go to break. We come back. Marina and Moxley take turns raking Swerve's back. Ow. And then Willow comes in with a Tower of Doom spot. You love to see that. And then a cannonball on Moxley. And then Willow hits a spine buster for a near fall on Marina Shafir. Moxley gets the Bulldog choke on Swerve. That gets broken up with a power bomb, sending Marina Shafir onto Moxley, who went through another table that was out at ringside. That was weird. Actually, no, that was after that, but anyway. So then the women brawl to the floor. Mox and Swerve slug it out in the middle of that ring. We get a rolling downward spiral on Mox, and then Swerve goes for the house call on Mox, but Marina Shafir took the bullet after shoving Moxley out of the way, and then he fell through the tables like, ugh. And then Willow hits Babe with the powerbomb. 1, 2, 3 on Marina Shafir. They get the win in a wild match. Pretty crazy. Oh, it's the man upstairs. Jay Briscoe, reach for the sky, boy. He would say, crazy as shit. And that's that. Alright, so 3.25 out of 5 stars for that. And then after the match, as Swerve and Willow were celebrating, Moxley slithers into the ring. And I'm like, and Willow saw him. I'm like, Swerve, where are you gonna get? Just gotta stand there? Moron. And Moxley hits a wicked Death Rider. A wicked Death Rider. And then he's like, oh, I don't know what I did. And then him and Marina Shafir get out of there. And then the doctor is looking at Willow to see if her neck is still intact. Because she did take a scary bump with that powerbomb through the table at ringside. She looked like she barely hit the table. But she's okay. She's okay from what the doctors said. There was later on in the evening, we see Swerve and Nana in the trainer's room, which made no sense. They're outside with Renee Paquette, trying to get an update, and then the door's open. You see a massage table in like this little hallway, and there's a door right there. I'm like, how do you get that in there? I'm like, why didn't you go through the other door? I wish I had a Book of Doom, and I don't. Don't! I mean, seriously, you have a freaking massage table in between rooms here? Like, what? 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 What are we missing? That boggles boggled my mind. How did you do that? Why did you put it in the other room? It's not even not the trainer's room. It's a trainer's hallway. The fuck? Anyway, we get that. We get that. All right. I gotta take a sip of this. I mean, good lord. Losing my voice, just going crazy out of that fucking segment. Oy. Anyway, something I didn't want to see after that, which was William Yuta. That guy. William Yuta's the type of guy that drinks apple juice, but it's really piss. That's the type of guy he is. This is a fucking idiot. Anyway, so we see William Yuta pin Dax the Axe Hogan on Collision last week, and then Dax shoved a bunch of he shoved Paul Turner, and then some security guards. Cash Wheeler comes back in with a clock, and then he shoves him, and then Cash is like, well, fuck you, man. I'm out of here. So then we go to the back with Renee and Cash Wheeler and Paul Turner, of all people, Paul Turner. Dax has a check in his hand for $10,000. Surprisingly, you pay $10,000. Just for shoving a referee, you get $10,000 fine. Remember when Randy gave Nick Aldis a check, but it was double the check? When he I think he attacked Nick Aldis. And Nick is like, wait, this is too much. And then Randy's like, well, half is for last week, but if you fuck with me again, that's the other half. I was like, damn, $100,000 fine, probably, or whatever it was. Randy got the money. Alright, so we got that. So he gives Paul Turner the check saying, hey, you can use this for your kids and shit. Paul Turner's old as fuck. So that's pretty nice. Like, here, it's $10,000. Get out of here! Paul Turner probably went to the strip club and wasted that shit. You know him. Man, if I had $10,000, I want to go to the strip club. Well, maybe I might go for, not waste $10,000 per se, but waste about $1,000 on some lap dances and maybe, have some fun in the champagne room. There is no sex in the champagne room. None. Gotta love Chris Rock. You gotta love that song's legendary. It's poetry. You know what else is poetry? Wang Dang Sweet Poontang by my good friend Uncle Ted. A classic. Wang Dang Sweet Poontang. Oh. That's poetry right there. Not like the mumble rap shit. Mumble rap don't talk about, the pussy. You know what I mean? All they talk about is like blah 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 blah. A minor. Ugh. That don't sell records. It's shit. It's bullshit. 6 Grammys. Big fucking whoop. Big whoop. 6 fucking Grammys. Ted Nugent and fucking... Ted Nugent has more fucking albums than a douchebag like Kendrick Lamar. I don't know how many Grammys he has, but I think maybe Kendrick has more Grammys than Ted Nugent, but Ted Nugent's a fucking legend. He gets more pussy than Kendrick. That's true. Back in the day, holy shit, was he a man. He probably got laid more than, well, not more than Gene Simmons back in the day, but, But good old Uncle Ted, Wang Dang Sweet Poontang. Doesn't get any better than that. It's poetry. But I digress on that. Alright, moving on. Alright, so after Dax gives Paul Turner his money to go to the strip club, he apologizes to his partner, Cash Wheeler, and says it's time for them to win the trios titles with their good buddy Edge, as they're taking on Claudio, William Yuta, and that bastard Pac on Sunday. Probably won't win. But then again, who knows? Who cares about the trios titles these days? So Dax goes to hug him, and Wheeler's like, whoa! hold on there, dude. And it says, we'll team together at Dynasty, but we really need to talk. Not like that, but was Dax, you got some problems. So, we'll talk about that later. So, we'll see what happens with that. Alright, so I gave that 2.5 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we get the brackets for the men and women's Owen Hart 4 Cup. Not great matches per se, but alright, here we go. We got Will Oceanspray. He was supposed to take on Jay White, but Jay White has a broken hand, so he's, and then commentary's like, oh, the Death Riders took him out. Nice cover there, Tony Khan. Man. So, instead of Will Oceanspray and Jay White, which would have been an epic match on Sunday, we get Will Oceanspray and Kevin Knight, which could be good too, but who's going to be winning that, obviously? Alright, so we got that. We got Brody King. Brody King takes on Takeshita in the left side of the bracket, so we'll probably get the semis of Will Oceanspray and Takeshita. Or Takeshita. That should be good. And then on the right side, we got Mark Briscoe. Reach for the sky, boy. Jay Briscoe, too. Mark Briscoe takes on Kyle Fletcher. Obviously, we know, I would be shocked if Mark wins that. We'll see. And then we got the Hangman, Adam Page, about to do some cowboy shit. He's going to take it on the wild card. We don't know who that is. People think it's Josh Alexander. And we'll have to see in the coming weeks. But we got that. So on the right side, I'd probably put Kyle Fletcher against the Hangman, Adam Page. I think we see Oceanspray and Fletcher 3 in the finals. And that's going to be a double or nothing. So I think it's going to be Oceanspray and Fletcher. And Oceanspray will win the Owen Hart Cup and then face either Moxley or Swerve or whoever is the champ at All In July the 12th in Texas. So we got that. And we move on. Alright, on the women's side, we get to the women. Alright, we got that. Alright, on the left side, we got Jamie Hayter taking on my girl, Billy Starks. Hey, Billy's in it, that's great. So, I think Jamie will win that. And then we got Thunder Rosa! Yay! She takes on Chris Statlander. They had a little, altercation in the back, talking about their match coming up. I'm gonna go with Statlander because there was leaked winners, and Statlander was the winner of the women's Owen Hart Cup, and then I think Oceanspray was supposed to win the men, so we got that. So in the semis, I think it's gonna be Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. Statlander will go to the finals and face, well, on the right side, we got Julia Hart takes on the CEO, Mercedes Moné. Mercedes is going to win that, obviously. And then in the semis, she will take on Holly Cameron. And she takes on Athena. So we could see Athena versus Mercedes, which I really wanted at All In, but we're getting it early, which I don't really particularly like. And there's no belts on the line, it's just to go to double or nothing. So I think we're going to see Athena and Mercedes. I think Mercedes will win that, face Statlander, not for the belts yet. But I know Mercedes is defending the New Japan Women's Strong title at Resurgence. I think it's later this month. Hopefully she loses that belt and loses everything else by the summertime. But not close per se, but we get that. So yeah, so Harley Cameron and Athena is happening on the right side. So like I said, the semis will probably be Athena and Mercedes. Mercedes will win that. Face Chris Statlander at Double or Nothing. And I think Statlander will finally beat Mercedes Moné, but not for the belts. It's just be for the Owen Hart Cup title. So then, probably see Chris Statlander probably take on Toni Storm or Megan Bayne or whoever is the women's champion by then. So I think that'll be good, but we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, so we got, on Sunday, we got Ocean Spray and Kevin Knight, and I think the women's match is on Sunday as well. That's Thunder Rosa and Chris Statlander. On Collision, we got Julia Hart and Athena, no, it's Mercedes Moné and Harley teaming up against Athena and Julia Hart. That should be good, we'll see. Interesting pairing, but well, that's that. Alright, so that's the men's and women's Owen Hart 4 Cup. And like I said, I think the winners would be Ocean Spray for the men and Statlander for the women. So kind of predictable, but then again, you never know. And there is no wild card for the women. I don't know why, but we move on. Alright, speaking of hot ladies, we got Timeless Toni Storm. Darling! Where's the... And remember, when Toni Storm comes out, chin up, tits out, watch for the shoe! Alright, non-title match against Penelope Ford from what happened on Collision. We got that. 8-minute match. It's also with Toni knocking Penelope to the floor. But Penelope gets in a big boot to face on the way back in. Quick suplex by Toni Storm, but Penelope avoids a sexy running hip attack in the corner. But she gets boot down. We go to break, come back. Penelope hits a handspring elbow in the corner, because as always during the break, the heels come back. Then a hell of a kick. Way better than you, Sami Zayn. Look at that. Toni fights her way back. Hits a Luke Des press. Then the sexy hip attack in the corner. And a DDT for a near fall. Then she locks in the STF. Penelope has to get the ropes to break it. Then she knocks Toni outside for a apron moonsault. Nice. We get back in a gutbuster. Gives Penelope a near fall. Toni came back, tries for Storm Zero. Penelope with a backdrop for a near fall. Toni comes right back with a quick Storm Zero. 1, 2, 3. She gets the win. And a pretty decent match. 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then after the match, Megan Bayne comes out. Joey Janela, you son of a bitch. You better keep her. Well, come kick your ass. I know where you live, Jersey, but we get that. Alright, so we move on with that. Alright, so then we see, like I said, Willow getting checked by the medic in the trainer's room. Swerve's not pleased with that. And Swizz, by the end of the night, he will get vengeance on Moxley. We'll see what happens that later. Alright, so I get that 2.25 out of 5 stars. Alright, then we go to MVP. And Bobby Lashley, one half of the tag team champs, because Shelton Benjamin, couldn't make it because there was really bad severe weather, so he couldn't get it because of lightning and thunder and Satan in the air, like, we get that. So they come out, to talk, I guess, about their match with, Big Cass and Brian Keith at the pay-per-view, but Maxwell Jacob Fartknocker, in his pink suit, not from the Men's Warehouse, because I don't sell pink suits. Probably got it from Goodwill. Sorry, Max. But it is what it is, because our sponsor, as always, right here on the show, the Men's Warehouse. You want to look good for your lady, you want to get an Easter suit, or you just want to go out and maybe get some chicks and get laid, go to the Men's Warehouse. Tell them Peter Joseph sent you. Maybe they'll give you a discount. And maybe, just maybe, some of you virgins out there, you'll like the way you look. I don't know if they'll guarantee it, but when I go, they guarantee I look good for the ladies. Especially, you know who. Which we will be going out this weekend. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna party! I'm gonna party like it's 1999. Alright, we get that. Alright, So MJF comes out and says, and he has to reintroduce himself to Buddy. Lashley, he calls him Bob. Ooh. He says, "Hey, Bob, I heard you've been around the block." I don't know about that, but I don't want to know. But anyway, because he was married to what's her name? Not Chomel. What's her name? What's her name? No, the other chick that used to be in WWE for a while. What's her name? What's her name? Yeah, what's her name? And then I think they divorced. Bobby's single now. He used to live in Denver. Now he lives in, I don't know, I think he lives in Texas now. Bobby! I mean, come on now. It wasn't Chomel. It was the other chick. I forgot her name. I can't think of her name off the top of my goddamn head. But we move on. Alright, so he says, you've been around the block, but you're in AEW now, and this is the block that I built. Actually, you did not build it. That was the Bucks. But I digress. So he says, I know what it takes to set records around here, and, you might not want me in the Hurt Syndicate, but me being in the Hurt Syndicate is just good business. And you know how business is with MVP. So Lashley's like, well, out of respect for my boy, I won't drop you right where you stand. I don't like you, I don't trust you, and you need to get the fuck out of here right now. So MJF's like, okay, I'm out of here. So we'll see what happens this weekend and I guess next week on the program, because Shelty Baby was not at the Collision tapings, which was after Dynamite. So this week is taped, obviously, because of the pay-per-view. Good matches. It was, from what I read from the spoilers, it was an okay show. Nothing great. But, what are you going to do? So we'll see what happens next week on the program. But, good segment, 3.25 out of 5 stars for that. Let me move on. Alright, then, after that, Big Cass and Brian Keith come out. They take on two Hammonayers, beat them in 74 seconds. Big Cass pretty much did all the work. Brian Keith hit the running knee. 1, 2, 3, they get the win. I gave it a dud. Zetto. And then after the match, they come out, and then they have a chair. It's like, hey, Bob, sit down and watch us beat these two Hammonayers. So they get the win, and MVP and Lashley were still at ringside. And then Big Bill issues the challenge for the tag team titles at Dynasty. And I guess we find out it's on. I thought we already knew that. But okay, we'll go with that. Moving on. Alright, we go to back with Renee Paquette and the CEO. Mercedes Moné is all ready for Julia Hart at Dynasty. That's the other match. I thought it was Thunder Rosa and Statlander. That's after Dynasty, probably next week on the program. Anyway, so then she's also ready to team with Holly! Cameron comes in with the Mercedes Moné puppet. You gotta love that. She goes, Mercedes! Say hello to your CEO. She's a ball of laughs at that Harley Cameron. Danny L, for you people that don't know her name. Anyway, so Mercedes is like, get that doll away from me! It's like, I'm not interested in you. You need to get out of the way and get out of my way on Collision. Blah blah blah. And then she leaves, and Harley was kind of trying to name their teams, and she comes up with the Monet Wrath Crane. And then she leaves. You gotta love her. She's just a ball of laughs. Give her the world title. I mean, come on now. The women's world title. Or the TBS title. We got that. And then Taz's like, I want to buy a puppet. God. It probably is on sale now on AEW shop.com there, Taz. Get your ass on the fucking website and go buy one. Or go make one. I know a guy that can do it for you. He won't do it for free, but he'll do it. Not that do it, but, you know. Where's mine? Oh, I don't have a puppet, but I got a doll. How you doing, S.A.? It is I, Angelito. Hola, mamacitas and muchachos. Ay, 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 ay. Have a great weekend, S.A.s. I gotta go and drink some tequila. Okay. Go have fun with Osito. Ah! He hates that guy. He hates Osito. Big ups to my man, Osito. Not my man, you know. My good friend, Osito. I miss you, dude. Gotta come back to the Indies, dude. Come on! Miss you around these parts. But we move on with that. Alright, so we get that. Alright, so 2.25 out of 5 stars for that. Alright, after that we go to Will Oceanspray. Reach for the sky. Whoa! Bam! He teams up with his opponent this Sunday, Kevin Knight, to take on Blake Christian and his good buddy Lee Johnson. That's Julia Hart's husband, for you people that don't know. Pretty decent match, 9-minute match. Starts with Oceanspray with a shoulder tackle on Blake Christian. Christian comes right back with a 1905 headlock that gets broken up easily. Oceanspray then starts strutting, a little hip swerve. What was that about? He was like, look at me! Like, what are you doing? And then Kevin Knight comes in for a twisting splash. Twisty, twisty, twisty. And then over from in the ring, the heels are drop kicked to the floor. And then we get stereo flippy DVD-doos. On the outside, the fans going nuts. That too. We get back up. Blake drops Kevin Knight before spearing Oceanspray off the apron. Ow, as we go to break. Come back. Oceanspray comes back in off a hot tag to clean house. He goes for a springboard, gets broken up. Blake Christian hits a 450 stomp. Yikes! How do you do that? I don't even know. I don't want to know. But anyway, Oceanspray comes right back with a Stun Dog Millionaire by Precious Sweet's Orange Juice, Orange Cassidy. Then Kevin Knight comes back in, takes over. He makes Lee Johnson hit a poison Rana on Blake Christian, sends him to the outside. Ouch. And then he hits a flippy dibbity-doo. Well, actually, Oceanspray hits a flippy dibbity-doo. Crazy ending. And then Kevin Knight hits a springboard clothesline, of all things. That. And he gets the win. 1, 2, 3. Him and Oceanspray get the win. And then after the match, Oceanspray and Kevin Knight are told that they're going to be facing each other at Dynasty in the first round of the Owen Hart Cup. And then they show some respect. You gotta love the Code of Honor at the end. That's it. So see what happens on Sunday with Kevin Knight and Oceanspray. Oceanspray is obviously gonna win. And that's that. Alright, then we go to a promo from the Ops. That's Samoa Joe. They send for the man. You, Hook, get in here with your Doritos. Get in here. That's Hook, ladies and gentlemen. And Shibata, Katsuyori Shibata. And Samoa Joe says, I started this group because things are changing around here. Okay. And then they're gonna be at Dynasty watching. They're gonna nothing new. I'm like, okay. What was that promo for? Just like, oh, we're gonna be watching at Dynasty. Well, I guess watching the Trios titles match. Obviously. Because I think they're probably gonna win it next. From probably the Death Riders. Big fucking whoop. And I gave that 2.25 out of 5 stars, and that's that. Alright, then we go to big beefy men slapping meat in that match. We go to Lance Archer. Everybody dies! Taking on Brody King. Who? And Don Callis is at ringside, and we see his clone at ringside again. This guy, I don't know who he is. I mean, I think he was on Dynamite last week, he was on Collision as well, and now he's on Dynamite this week and Collision this week. Who is this guy? and Don Callis confronted him. Maybe it's long-term storytelling? I don't know. Maybe he's the newest member? I don't know who this guy is. Kind of looks like, I thought it would look like Eric Young for a second. I was like, no, that can't be Eric Young. But he looks like Don Callis, but we don't know who the fuck this guy is. He's following him around, stalking the guy. But anyway, match was, well, it wasn't great, but big beefy men slapping meat. They trade shots to face to start, and then Lance Archer clotheslines Brody to the floor, but Brody sends him into the barricade. Ow! But Lance Archer comes right back with a ram into the steel steps. We go to break, come back. Lance Archer misses a charge in the corner, gets dropped with a big-time German suplex. And then they have a strike off, and Brody wins that easily. Drops the big man with a backsplash for a near fall. And then a swinging boss man slam! And a choke slam gives Lance Archer a near fall. And then Brody comes back with a clothesline, takes him down in the corner. Then a cannonball connects, goes for the cover. Brody gets 2. Then he finishes him off with a big time lariato. 1, 2, 3. Brody King, who gets the win. And we'll see what happens with him and Takeshita whenever that match happens. Probably be next week. And that's that. Alright, match was alright. 2.5 out of 5 stars, and that's it. Alright, then we got a Dynasty rundown. And that's that. And that leads us to our, I think this is the main event. Was this the main event? Yes, actually. Alright, goes to your main event. We have, hey kids, it's Edge taking on the Swiss. Claudio Castagnoli. Decent match. It's also with Claudio jumping Edge at the start. They go to the floor. And Edge is sent into the barricade. Ow! Get back in. Edge kicks away at Claudio. Follows that up with a running forearm off the apron. Then he hits Claudio with some forearms against the barricade. They go back in, and then trade some clotheslines. Edge hits the Edge-O-Matic for an air fall. And a spear through the ropes takes Claudio off the apron. And then Edge goes for another flippy dippity doo, and then he gets cut off with a Tiger uppercut. As we go to break, come back. Both of them are up top. Edge grabs a super bulldog. Nice. But Claudio comes back with a quick double stomp. Then he swing. Spin. Where does he land? And that gets a near fall. He locks in the sharpshooter, but Claudio switches right into the crippler crossface. And Edge is in big time trouble, but Edge reversed that into the grindhouse, which is his version of the crippler crossface. And then Claudio had to get the ropes to get the break. They go to the apron. Claudio grabs a power slam. And then throws Edge over the barricade, so they start fighting in the crowd a little bit. Actually, no, take that back. So Edge is in the crowd, and then Claudio goes in, demands a 10 count. And, hey, we're getting countouts in AEW for once. Edge beats the count, barely. Starts beating the crap out of Claudio. Goes for the spear, gets counted into the Swiss death for a near fall. And then Claudio goes outside, grabs 2 chairs. And then Bryce takes one of them away. He's like, "Oh, you can't do that!" Throws I was like, "Whoa, okay, I threw the other chair down." So Bryce gets one of the chairs away. And then Edge hits a low blow right into Claudio's Swiss balls. And he finishes him off with the spear. 1, 2, 3. Great win, Edge! So he wins in under 18 minutes. Match was So I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, and that's pretty much it. Alright, but we're not done with Dynamite. As we go to the end segment, Swerve's in the back, yelling at Prince Nana. Prince Nana's like, "Fuck you, I'm out of here." He's still looking for Moxley. And he's walking down the hall. And then we see the Hangman, Adam Page, run up to him. I'm like, uh-oh. And then security, like 6 security guards come out. Upgrade. They run in. And Page and Swerve are yelling at each other. He says, "You burned down my house!" I mean, well, you broke into my house! Swerve's like, "You burned down my house!" And then Page's like, "You deserved it!" And Swerve's like, "I know!" And then everything stops. I'm like, what just happened? Page is like, huh? And then he goes to leave with the security, by himself. He leaves, and then the other security guards walk with Swerve, who then gets beaten up by Moxley and crew. They throw him into some glass, which I don't know. I think it was I thought it was a glass table, but there was like some glass around. They throw him into that, and then they take him into the arena. And then Claudio, I think it was Claudio, Marina Shafir. I don't know if it was Pac was there, but anyway, they hold Swerve up, basically. And then William Yuta gives Moxley a bag. Well, actually, it's like a big freaking tin, like this. Not bigger than this. And he pours it out, and it's broken glass, or he must have picked up the glass in the back and put it in there. Because that's how William Yuta is. He picks things up and eats them. Anyway, no 5-second rule for William Yuta. So anyway, he pours the glass out, and then Mox is like, "Put up through the thing, glass!" So Claudio has a wicked power bomb on the glass. No, take that back. He hits the Ricola bomb into the glass. Ow! And Swerve is like, ah! And you would think that with the glass, his back would be all bloody and look all disgusting. Maybe saw no blood from that shit. And then Swerve just rises up like the Undertaker as the Death Riders leave, and then they look back and Swerve's like, mm! I'm like, did he just no-sell a glass shot? I mean, come on. I think twice he did that. He gets put through some glass in the back, kind of no-sells that a little bit, and then Claudio has to freaking hit a powerbomb onto the broken glass, which had to be sugar glass because, like I said, if it was real glass, cry me a river, by the way, Swerve's back would have been torn to shreds. But he gets right back up. And then they show the broken shards of glass in his back. Yeesh. And that just ends the show. So you know at Dynasty they're going to go full hardcore. It's in Philly, so why not? I'm surprised. There's no stipulation with that. So they're just going to beat the living shit out of each other. Moxley's probably going to bleed in the first 3 minutes of the match. Who knows if Swerve's going to bleed. It's going to be violent. And the referee's like, oh, I'll allow it. And Tony Khan actually said on the media call that there's going to be more violence in AEW. So you got to love that. I love violence. I don't condone it, but I like it. Because I'm old school. I love hardcore wrestling, so just throwing some C4 explosives would be nice too, but the right way there, Tony Khan. Don't get me started with that wannabe FMW match with Moxley and Kenny. Ugh. Probably worst match ever in AEW. Try to emulate the exploding ring match and failed miserably. Sparklers! And then Eddie King's like, Moxley! Pfft. And then sparklers, then the explosion. Ugh. See, if you got the FMW explosive guys, call Onita up. He'll tell you how to do that shit. But do they call Onita? No. So they just do this, we're gonna keep it tame for pay-per-view. I don't even think Tony Khan wants to ever do that again. If he does, you better call Onita. I'm just saying. Call Onita, call up Matt Tremont. They'll tell you how to do an exploding bomb match. They'll tell you. You don't need sparklers. With fake as fuck fireworks. The fucking M80, basically. That's what it was. That whole thing where the explosives actually went off. That was an M80. That was not a fucking bomb. Like you see it in Onita's promotion. That's bombs. That's not M80s. That's bombs. Horrible, Tony Khan. Horrible. And we move on with that. Alright, so that ends Dynamite. As, Mike's like, what the fuck? Claire's like, what the fuck? Everybody's like, what the fuck happened? The freaking Swerve just, like, got up like it was nothing. Like, he just rises like he's the Undertaker. I don't know. But anyway, that ends Dynamite. And it was a pretty decent show. I gave it 7 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you people think of the show down below in the comment section. But keep it respectful. If not, get out of here. And you will be blocked. So that's all I gotta say about that. So once again, 7 out of 10 stars for Dynamite. Pretty good show. We'll see what happens on Collision tomorrow. And then we got Dynasty on Sunday. And not the old school 80s program, Dynasty. It's Dynasty for you people in Australia, Dynasty for us here. So it should be a good pay-per-view from Philly. And then we'll see what happens Saturday. Then, next week on Dynamite, the aftermath of that. We got more of the Owen Hart Cup to deal with. And then we're on the road to Spring Breakthrough, which is the week after that, which is going to be AEW breaking Nitro's record. I mean, who cares? We got that. And then Collision, I think, is going to be on that Thursday, so... Because of, it's WrestleMania week, so we got Dynamite and Collision back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday night. And that's going to be in Boston! The 16th and the 17th. And then, really nothing from AEW on WrestleMania weekend, because the next thing they got is Double or Nothing in May, so they got a long road to go before their next actual pay-per-view. So, but... Really, there'll be, for Ring of Honor purposes, there'll be getting into, May the 3rd, which is Supercard of Honor, and, that's that. And then, Death Before Dishonor is July the 11th, the day before All In. That's going head-to-head with SmackDown, so nobody's gonna watch, Death Before Dishonor. I'll watch the replay. And then maybe give them my review probably before All In, which is at 3 p.m. July the 12th, by the way. And that leads into, it's no Collision. As Collision, I think, is on that Thursday, which is the 10th. Then you got you got Death Before Dishonor, July the 11th. Excuse me. And then All In at 3 p.m. That's going to go probably 3-4 hours at least. And that's going to be a big lead-in to Saturday Night's Main Event on NBC that night. So, Tony Khan got a little bit, he's like, we're going head-to-head with Saturday Night's Main Event. No, we're going to back All In at 3 p.m., 2 p.m. for you people in Texas. So, Tony Khan's kind of doing Hunter a favor. He's like, we're going to have our big WrestleMania pay-per-view at 3 p.m., and then we'll just lead into a house show, which is basically what Saturday Night's Main Event is. It's a 2-hour house show on NBC, so see how Hunter counters that with whatever card he has by then, and we'll see what happens with that. But all in all, 7 out of 10 stars for Dynamite, and we'll see what happens on Collision on tomorrow. But we got SmackDown tonight. Enjoy that. Should be doing my SmackDown review later tonight. We'll see how everything goes. But I do got my TNA Ring of Honor review on my Killer Demons channel coming up in a few hours. Because I do gotta run out and do some shopping with the missus, and then we'll be back, have some lunch, And then I'll do my TNA Ring of Honor review, and then get you ready for SmackDown tonight. And we'll see what happens with that. Mets should be starting in about 45 minutes from now with their home opener against the Blue Jays. And we'll see how that goes. Alright, I am out of here, guys. Thanks for watching, and until next time, if you're not down with that, well, I got 3 words for you. Fuck you, man! That's it. Enjoy your Friday. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's going to be rainy here in the Northeast, so bring an umbrella. And it will be cold. It's 69 degrees right now. But it's going to go down like my dick in your mom's throat by 8 o'clock. So tomorrow's going to be cold, and then Sunday is going to be back up to the 60s, and then up, down, like my dick in your mom's ass. That's what it's going to be all next week. Getting rain up until Monday, and then a little break through midweek, and then more rain as we go into Palm Sunday weekend. And that's that. Hopefully no rain for Easter. Hopefully it's warm for you people going out for your Easter plans and traveling and shit. So, we'll see what happens with all that. But thanks for watching, everybody. And like I said, I will be here hopefully through All In. There is a good chance I will be around through July, and maybe after my vacation, I'll take my vacation end of July, and then we'll see about August. Right now, it's tentative that I'll be around by mid-July, early August. But I might be taking a little bit of a break from YouTube just for my vacation and just to recharge the batteries a little bit. So we got that. Alright, I gotta go, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Peace!